basically the whole reason why we are doing the main story quests is because we are going on a manhunt for a person named Lyra. Lyra was the top scientist in Zenith City, and she is the reason why we are actually alive still. Because when we came over from the desert, she was the leading scientist for the Ether Disk project, which basically makes us part cyborg. Basically allows us to see our GUI, open our menu. It allows us to climb, use our skills, and glide everywhere. It's a pretty big project, but it allowed to save the people from the desert who were corrupted and turn them into Zenithians warriors. So basically, we all work for the city and doing their work because they don't have the soldiers to do it themselves. So because of Lyra, we were able to be saved, and it's actually kind of interesting of a theory is Essence Mages and Blade Masters. We actually have, I would say, tubing that runs through our arms that allows us to control our essence better. Because looking at the Exile have tubings that go into their arms, and they also wear masks to help control the essence better that they're fighting against. But when you watch their attack patterns, their strongest attacks that they do for the ones with the swords and the ones with the mages, they always do the more powerful attack with their left hand, which has the main tubing that goes into it. They only can do certain attacks with their right hand, which doesn't have a tubing to it. So something has to be happening for them to actually use the essence without them destroying their body. So, in my opinion, the Ether Disk project was similar to that. So for Blade Masters, we have our swords, which allows us to channel our essence through them, and allows us to use our skills. But for Essence Mages, they have our blasters, but they can also do skills without their blasters, giving me a reasoning that we might actually have tubing or some form of communication in our arms that allows us to channel our essence into skills for us to use. And because of Lyra doing that, basically the Zenithian city, their army grew and we could do their bidding. However, Lyra started to get a little bit wise on a few things, and she started to doing what I can guess stuff that the Zenithian Council or the rulers of the city didn't want to happen. And they were going to do something to Lyra. We don't know for certain what, but Lyra got the heck out of the city before the Zenithian Council can do anything to her. Mainly because the touchstone that's in the city with Mika is someone talking to her saying that she's been promoted to train us since something happened with Lyra and she left. So when we make a new character, one of the first things Drift says is, "Hey there, partner, are you doing okay? You seem to have snapped out of it due to the Ether Disk project. We are on a manhunt for Lyra, so go talk to Mika." And basically, in my opinion, we might have just completely had our memories lost when Lyra left the city. So the city actually made us lose our memories, which is why we completely forgot who Lyra is and also where we came from. Because Drift hints at us coming from the city, but it's also hard to tell ourselves without doing even more research that we actually came from the city. Oh, I almost forgot Lyra's backstory. Lyra's backstory is kind of interesting, but also messy. Currently, Amara has two different things that she says and two different quests. The first quest that she says is the Desert Empire. When Sidians started to fight against the rulers, against the king and queen, their heir got shipped away from the palace to some other location. We don't know from that quest who the heir is until Amara's quest in Queen's Path called Capital Punishment, which basically it says the old stories that the heir to the kingdom was supposed to keep alive. That's what my parents always said. And I feel like I destroyed it. I was trying to protect the heir, to keep them safe, to keep them alive. And I wonder if I didn't make a mistake protecting Lyra from harm all those years ago. She is the heir to this land, and she's killing it. Basically saying that Lyra, the main villain of our story, is actually the last living heir to the king and queen. Though it's a little wonky because it's hard to tell exactly how old Lyra and Amara is, because it sounds like Amara protected Lyra from making it getting to the city so that she could actually have a better life and not live in the desert that's full of corruption. So Lyra's whole point of our story is she's trying to follow Insidian's path by finding all the artifacts and trying to commune with them to somehow make the desert a better place. However, it's kind of assumed Lyra actually can't commune with the artifacts compared to like us and how Sidian did. And she also used underhanded tactics, which really kind of cemented her fate, because all she wanted to do, from what it sounds like, is she wanted to rebuild the desert because she was the last heir to the Desert Empire, and she wanted to make it alive again and get rid of the corrupted essence. However, it really sounds like she didn't do a very good job at trying to complete her goals, since all of the farmers, for the most part, in Fractured Plains and Yelling Valley, all got killed by the Exiled and took over. The cultists destroyed a good chunk of the Sky Song and Obsidian Fortress, trying to take over the mine artifact. And honestly, it doesn't sound like she even touched the mine artifact, really, besides giving it over to the cultists, before she left and went to the coastal regions to get the primal artifact, which the primal artifact, we're not really for sure what all she used it for, but she wanted to use it. However, the primal artifact was used to turn the pirates into shark people. So all of the sharks that we are fighting in the coastal regions, they were once human that got transformed into sharks. One example that a lot of people do know about is Kai, the quest-giving NPC. His brother is Ichiro, and we fight his brother in Turtletop. And basically he was the leader of the pirates, but got transformed by the primal artifact. It's a very messy summary that's still being worked on. And then eventually she worked her way to the desert where she got the creation artifact, but not before going to Ramshackle, retrofitting the machines to be able to make corrupted monsters, which she then used to go into the desert more, from my understanding, along with using the creation artifact for a few other things. The game doesn't give a good enough examples on what she uses the creation artifact for. We mainly understand that she took the ward key after locking the artifact away in the mausoleum in the desert, and broke it and scattered it to the desert sands that we have to find later and rebuild. And then after that, we just don't know what happened to Lyra. One current theory is kind of really dark, is judging by Lyra's last touchstone in Ruler's Reach, due to her not being able to resurrect the desert and follow into Sidian's footsteps like we were able to, it almost seemed like she just kind of jumped off the cliff and killed herself, judging by where her touchstone is. But at the moment, we just don't know what happened to Lyra, and same thing happened with Sidian. But we know Sidian has been dead, though, for a really long time.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more Zealots content, and remember, it's GG Easy with Easy.